Ever feel like you need a cheat sheet to really get something complicated?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, today we're going to give you one
Okay.
for Indian criminal law.
All right.
We're doing a deep dive
Okay.
into IPC Section 6.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tiny little part of this massive
Yeah.
Indian Penal Code from 1860.
1860. Wow.
But it's super important,
Boy, bad.
really foundational stuff.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
So think of the IPC,
Okay.
which was established way back when,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still like the bedrock
Right.
of criminal law in India.
Yeah.
It's like this huge instruction manual.
Okay.
And then Section 6
Yeah.
is like
Uh-huh.
the index and the glossary
Uh-huh.
all rolled into one.
Gotcha.
Basically, make sure that everybody's on the same page when we're
Yeah.
trying to figure out
Yeah.
how these laws work.
Makes sense.
So our mission today
Okay.
is to unlock why this section,
Mhm.
which is basically just defining key terms,
Right.
is so incredibly important. So we've been looking at a bunch of material about this.
Okay.
And it seems like Section 6 is really
Uh-huh.
the key
Oh, wow.
to understanding the rest of this legal framework.
It's that fundamental. Huh.
Yeah. And it's also really important for clear
Okay.
legal interpretation.
Yeah.
Like imagine trying to follow this huge instruction manual
Yeah.
and you don't know what half the words mean.
Right. That would be impossible.
So Section 6
Yeah.
provides all these like really essential definitions.
Gotcha.
And it helps to prevent chaos.
Yeah.
And just make sure that the law
Right.
is applied consistently.
So it's not just about
Yeah.
knowing what the words mean,
Right.
sort of in a general sense.
Yeah.
There's a specific legal weight
Exactly.
to these definitions.
Yeah, it's not just dictionary definition.
Exactly.
So for example,
Okay.
if there's another part of the IPC
Yeah.
that's talking about like wrongful gain,
Uh-huh.
then Section 6 is where you would go to find the actual legal definition of that.
So it's like the master key
Yeah.
to unlock all these other sections.
Exactly.
It anchors the meaning.
And it removes ambiguity.
Right, because if it wasn't there,
Yeah,
you could have different courts
exactly.
and different lawyers
Uh-huh.
interpreting these things
Yeah.
in totally different ways.
Right, and that would be really unfair
Oh, absolutely.
and unpredictable.
And that's actually really important
Mhm.
for,
Yeah,
people to be able to understand
right.
what the law actually prohibits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the sources that we've been looking at
Yeah.
give some good examples
Okay.
of some of these terms that are defined.
Uh-huh.
So one of them is public servant.
Right.
And when I first saw that,
Yeah.
I just thought, like, okay,
Hmm.
this is government employees.
Right.
But it sounds like it's actually a lot broader than that.
What's really interesting about this
Yeah.
is that it includes not just, your typical government employees,
Uh-huh.
but also judges and even people who work
Okay.
for
Yeah.
corporations that are established
Right.
by the government.
Right.
So it's anybody wielding, a certain amount of
Right.
public authority
Yeah.
that falls under this definition.
So the huge,
Yeah.
expansive definition.
It is.
And that has
Yeah.
big implications for
Yeah.
who can be held accountable under
Yeah.
the
exactly.
law.
For sure.
So another interesting one is
Yeah.
movable property.
Right.
And, I think of
yeah.
things that you can carry, but it sounds like that's not quite right.
So the legal definition is property of every description,
Wow.
except immovable property.
Okay.
So, yeah, your furniture
Yeah.
and your car,
Mm-hmm.
but it also includes intangible things
Okay.
like patents and copyrights.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, and think
Yeah.
about how that impacts laws around like theft and fraud in the digital age.
Oh,
So suddenly this
Mhm.
definition becomes
right.
really, really relevant.
Yeah. Intellectual property being movable.
Exactly.
Okay. And then the last one for now
Okay.
is wrongful gain
Mm-hmm.
and wrongful loss.
Right.
And those sound like
Yeah.
two sides of the same coin.
They are.
Yeah.
They're very much linked.
Okay.
So wrongful gain is
Yeah.
gaining property unlawfully
Right.
when you're not legally entitled to it.
Okay.
And then wrongful loss is the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
It's the unlawful loss of property
Right.
by somebody who does have
Okay.
a legal right to it.
So these definitions are really foundational
Absolutely.
for understanding like economic offenses,
Yeah.
property-related crimes.
Exactly.
So it seems like Section 6
Yeah.
is not just like
Right.
a dry list of definitions.
Uh-huh.
It's like the bedrock
It is.
that the entire structure
Yeah.
of Indian criminal law is built on.
And it just makes sure that everyone understands
Yeah.
these fundamental concepts.
Exactly. And it's
So important
Yeah.
for a fair
Right.
and just legal system.
so you, the listener, can see how
Yeah.
this seemingly basic section on definitions is actually super important
Absolutely.
for clarity, consistency, and legal certainty
Yes.
within the IPC.
Makes you think about
Yeah.
how important precise definitions are. And,
Yeah.
not just law, but really any area of life where clear communication
Right.
and understanding is important.
Yeah. And how powerful language is
Yeah, absolutely.
in shaping our understanding of the world.
Oh,